Good morning, students. This is Rahul, sir. Now, today we are going to study next chapter, perimeter and area. So, let's study about the first topic, perimeter. So, in perimeter we have two words, peri and meter. Peri means boundary and meter means measurement. So, what does it mean by perimeter? Perimeter means to measure the boundary of a figure. This definition is written on the third line from the top. Okay. Now, let's talk about the perimeter of a triangle. Next heading. So, perimeter of a triangle, let's look at the first diagram, the equilateral triangle, it is given here. So, here it is equilateral triangle, but the perimeter means if you travel from one point from in any diagram and come back to the same point by rotating all the sides. So when you start from one point and come back to one point again, so in a triangle there are three sides. So all the sides, if sides length is a, b and c, then total distance traveled will be a plus b plus c. So this will be your perimeter of the triangle. If all the sides are equal, like equilateral triangle, then a, b and c will be equal as a. So yes, perimeter of equilateral triangle will be 3a. A plus a equal to 3a. Okay. Now let's come to the perimeter of a square. So look the second diagram. Here there will be four sides and all the sides will be same. So if we move from one side, then second, then third, then fourth, total distance traveled will be s plus s plus s plus s, that will be 4s. Okay, so perimeter of a square will be 4s. Now let's come to next point, perimeter of a rectangle and a parallelogram. Likewise in square, but in rectangle we have to travel L plus B plus L plus B. So there will be 2L and plus 2B. Okay, so the formula will become 2 bracket L plus B. And likewise in parallelogram, again the same formula will be applied here also. Okay, now let's come to the perimeter of a circle. Okay, so listen, in these four diagrams we can see how we can make the perimeter of any diagram, but in circle we don't have the straightforward method, we have a formula here. So we have a formula here, so we have to uh, remember that formula. If, listen, if the radius of the circle is given, if the radius of the circle is given 2 pi r, sorry, if the radius of the circle is given r, then the perimeter of the circle will be 2 pi r. If the diameter is given, what is given? Diameter. If the diameter is given, then the formula will become pi d. Okay, so we have to remember two formulas, that is 2 pi r if the radius is given, and if the diameter is given, the formula will be pi d. Okay, now pi we already know, the value of pi will be either 3.142 or 22 upon 7. These two both can be possible. Now let's come to the examples. Now we have the example here. Find the circumference of a circle whose radius is 14 centimeter and pi is equal to 22 upon 7. So if the radius is given, we will apply the formula 2 pi r. So circumference C will be equal to 2 pi r equal to 2 into 20 pi. The value of pi is 22 upon 7 into 14. We will solve this and we will get 88. Likewise, if the diameter, in the second example, diameter is given, circumference pi d, so in place of pi 22 upon 7 and the value of d we have to find out, and circumference is given 132. From here we can find out value of d will be 42 centimeter. Okay, now the third question, two circles have a diameter ratio to 2:5, find the radius of their circumference. So now listen, let the diameter of the circles be 2x and 5x. What is given here? Ratio of the diameters is given 2:5. So we have assumed that radius diameters are 2x and 5x. So circumference of first circle will be 2 pi x and circumference of the second circle will be 2 pi pi 5x upon 2, that is 5x pi 5 pi x. Ratio of the circumference will be 2 pi x upon 2 pi x. So x cancel out, pi will cancel out, the ratio will be again 2 by 5. Okay, so this is how we do this. Next, the same question is given in the fourth question of the question exercise, and the question number 1, 2 and 3 we can solve because those are just formula type questions and we can easily solve those. Okay, so let's come to the question number 4. Here question number 4, the ratio is given, the diameters ratio is given, and we have to find out the ratio of the circumferences of two circles. Okay, so as I have solved here, let the diameters are d1 and d2. What we have assumed, d1 and d2, and we have also assumed d1 is less than d2. We have assumed d1 is less than d2. Why? Because one should be less and one should be more, because ratio is 1:3. So d1 upon d2 is equal to 1 upon 3. So we cross multiply, so 3d1 will be d2. So circumference of first circle will be pi d1 and circumference of the second circle will be pi d2. Okay, now their ratio will be circumference 1 upon circumference 2 will be pi d1 upon pi d2. Pi will cancel out, and in place of d2 we can put 3d1 in the topmost bracket. It is written that d2 is equal to 3d1 na? So we put here 3d1, so d1 will cancel out, circumference 1 upon circumference 2 will be equal to 1 upon 3. Okay, so this is the ratio. Now let's come to the question number 5. Okay, here it is given that a rectangle is given whose length and width are given. Now, and one thing is given, that the wire which made the rectangle, we again reshape that wire and make a circle. So listen, please pay attention here, that if wire has been reshaped as circle, so the length of wire will not change, isn't it? The length of wire will not change. So obviously if the circumference of a rectangle will be equal to circumference of the circle, because wire length will not change na. So here first of all what we do, we will find the circumference of the rectangle. So what is that? 2l plus b, and we have put the values and we will get the rectangle circumference is 30.8 centimeter. Now next thing, circumference of a circle. Circumference of the circle will be equal to circumference of the rectangle, because I told you the wire length is not changed. The rectangle is made of that wire and same wire is again reshaped as circle. So their circumference remain the same. So circumference of circle is pi d and the rectangle circumference is 30.8. We will put the values and we will find the value of d is 9.8 centimeter. Likewise, another question is given, question number 6. Here the wheel of a cycle, wheel of the cycle has radius 28 centimeter. Okay, now radius of a wheel is given 28 centimeter. So we have to find out the how much distance will it travel in one revolution. How much distance a cycle will move in one revolution. So obviously when one revolution of the wheel will complete, the same distance will be traveled by the cycle. So one revolution by wheel will be equal to circumference of wheel. So the circumference of wheel is 2 pi r, the value we put, that is 28, and we solve this, we will get 176 centimeter. Now total distance traveled in 24 revolution, because it is asking total distance traveled in 24 revolutions. So we multiply this 24 into 176, that is 4224 centimeter. So by now we have completed this much. Now we have to complete up to question number 11, and after that we will do further. Thank you.